Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this super easy and simple Puerto Rican Sancocho in the Instant Pot. So make sure to stick around and watch. All right, my friends, so here are the simple ingredients I am going to be using today for our sancocho. So for the meat, I am going to be using the beef bottom round steak. And this was actually on sale, and it was one of the main reasons why I got it. And it was only $4.99 a pound, so I just couldn't let that pass up. This meat works perfectly fine with that. All I'm gonna have to do is cut it up. I am going to be using cilantro, and cilantro is something that you can buy at any store. Really, they have this in stock anywhere. Some garlic cloves, because I always have those available here at home. I have 2 potatoes that I'm going to be using. I don't have oregano in stock, but I have a lot of this Italian seasoning, and this has oregano in it. So I'm going to switch it up with this. Some ground turmeric. I'm going to be adding this in for color instead of the sazon. I've been cutting back a little bit on the sazon because of the MSG. My husband does get some migraines, so I know that this little packet has MSG too, but if I put like the sazon in it, it's gonna be hard for him to have as much as he wants of it. So that's why I'm limiting lately with my recipes on using MSG. But I'm going to be using one of these cubitos en polvo, the beef kind. It has the little cow on it. I'm gonna be using recaito because I'm back to work, people. School is back in session, so I haven't been making my sofrito like I typically have. So I am just gonna use the bottled kind, and this you can honestly find in any store in the Goya section. Some adobo, and I'm going to be using this butternut squash. I had bought one about a week or 2 ago. I sliced it up. I love using butternut squash for my beans and for soups. So I am just going to be adding this to my sancocho and see how it turns out. I usually use pumpkin on this, so you know, butternut squash, pumpkin, very similar, different in texture, but I do want that nuttiness and that creaminess added to my sancocho, so that's why I'm adding that. I am using the yuca, which is also the cassava, and this is frozen. So I'm not peeling anything. I'm not worried about if my yuca comes out wrong. By buying it frozen, in my area where I live, we don't have access to root vegetables very much unless we go to like a specific store. I'm not taking a trip down there today. And I also have these, this can also be found the same place where the yuca is found in the frozen section. And you're gonna see it says viandas para sancocho, which is a tropical vegetable mix. This has some plantains in it. Sometimes it has some jalapilla in it. And this right here is pumpkin. So I'm going to be using this. As you can see, I don't have plantains today or green bananas. And I typically absolutely love adding that to my sancocho. Nor do I have corn. I love adding corn on the cob to my sancocho, but I'm doing without today because corn is out of season. The only stuff that's available is the frozen corn, and my family generally does not enjoy frozen corn. For that reason, I am omitting the corn, and I'm sure I'm gonna miss it. But if you have corn readily available where you live, go ahead and add it in, or if it's currently in season, it is absolutely amazing. So these are the only ingredients that I'm going to be using for this sancocho. So let's get started. I'm first going to begin by dicing up the beef, and I'm simply taking up the steaks and just cutting it into strips and then cutting it into little cubes. These next 2 ingredients I completely forgot to mention. So I'm going to be using some olive oil just to put on the bottom of my Instant Pot. Just a little bit, not too much. It's just to saute your meat. You can use any type of oil really. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press the saute button. Okay. I am gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce to my meat here on the side, just to give it a little bit of a, I don't know, a taste. I like what this does to the beef. So I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit on the top like this. I should probably use a bigger plate because this plate is not gonna allow me to mix this stuff on my meat like I would like. All right, here we go. We got a bigger plate. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. And I'm gonna add a little bit of adobo to my meat as well. I'm gonna start with 2 teaspoons. And I'm gonna do about a tablespoon of the recadito. You can really put as much as you want of this stuff in it. It never hurts. And I'm gonna give everything a nice little mixing in here. Anytime I'm making anything that has beef in it, I like to saute it beforehand to just lock in some flavors. Now that our pot is nice and hot, I'm going to go ahead and add my meat in there and saute it for a little bit. Just browning on the outside so those flavors are nicely locked in there. Only for a few minutes. All right, so now that our meat is browned, I'm gonna go ahead and add some water. 5. I'm adding a total of 5 cups of water. Now we're gonna go ahead and add the cubito en polvo, 3 cloves of garlic, a little bit of the onion powder. I'm gonna say about 1 to 2 teaspoons. The turmeric is typically about 1 teaspoon. Yep, 1 teaspoon. Now I'm gonna go ahead and now add another tablespoon of recadito. Gonna give everything a nice mixing. And about 1 teaspoon of the Italian seasoning. Hopefully that's not too much. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out. Now we're going to put the lid on the Instant Pot. Make sure that it's on seal up here. And we are going to cancel saute and go on to pressure cook, and we're gonna cook it for 20 minutes. While my meat is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and cut all of my vegetables. I'm also gonna come in here and cut some of these super huge pieces because I like them to be a little smaller. And from the yuca, from what I'm seeing, I might only use about half of the bag for this, not the whole bag. And this is a 1.5 pound bag. So about half of the bag. And look at these, they're so super thin. So I'm just gonna do little rounds of them. Once it's done pressure cooking, I'm just gonna let it sit there for about 5 minutes. That's what I typically do with my stew meat. And then after that part is done, I will release the remaining pressure. Alrighty, now that it's done, I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Give it a nice mix. I'm gonna give it a taste too. Really good flavor. Excellent flavor. I'm just gonna add a little bit of adobo. You can add adobo or salt to taste. I'm just gonna add a tad more. I'm gonna say about another teaspoon. Or at this point, I'm going to add the cilantro. Now that we've made it to that point, I'm going to go ahead and add all these vegetables a little bit at a time. Careful not to get burned. Those of you who are wondering, this is a 6-quart Instant Pot, okay? And you're going to see that this right here fills it up to about, see, this is the max right here. So this quantity here fills it up a little bit under that line. All right. I'm actually going to mix everything in. I want the meat up and get some of those roots on the bottom. And mix it all together. At this point, make sure to adjust the taste and the saltiness. If you want to add more salt to it, go right for it. This is your time to do it. Now I'm going to go ahead and seal it again. This time I'm going to cancel. And I'm going to pressure cook this once again, and this time I'm only going to pressure cook it for about, I'm going to do 4 minutes. Let's pressure cook it for 4 minutes. Hopefully that's enough time for everything to get nice and soft. Something to know here is that my frozen vegetables had already been thawing out the entire time from the moment I started cooking. If you're getting your vegetables straight out of the freezer and putting them in there, you're probably going to want to add 1 additional minute. All right, my friends, so now that it's done here, I'm gonna go ahead and release the remaining pressure once again. All right, guys, so that took a little while. Took about 3 minutes to do, 3 to 4 minutes. Actually, 4, it says here 4 minutes to do the natural release. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. Let's see what it looks like in there. Oh, it looks so fabulous. Let's take a closer look. Look at this goodness, guys. Absolutely amazing. The consistency of the root vegetables is perfect. Oh, and the meat looks so good. It just smells so good. Look at this. Look at this plantain. Oh, I cannot wait to give this a try. Now I do have some rice going in the back, and the rice, we dip it in this nice delicious sauce right here. Look at that. Oh, I can't wait to have it. I'm so excited to give it a try. This sancocho turned out to be absolutely delicious, guys. You definitely need to go ahead and give this sancocho a try, and go ahead and let me know in the comments below how yours turned out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.